Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Malika, aka Mali, aka Malibu. Whatever you want to call me, I don't know, it's me, and this is malikasflex. Yes, you guys have been asking why I have not been uploading videos. I have been more than under the weather. So I think you can hear it in my voice that I have the flu. But aside from that, I've been dealing with other stuff, like I've been away from work, like my actual job that pays me. I've been away from work and stuff. So if you mean me any good, if you mean me any good, just say a word of prayer for me. If you don't mean me any good, any negative thing that you're sending my way, I send it back to the sender, back to the pit of hell. Let's keep it pushing. So some of you all would have seen me on a webinar this morning. This company reached out to me and I did a webinar for them, and I just decided to live stream it on my YouTube. So some of y'all saw that as me posting again, but it wasn't really that. So I was like, you know what, I'm already in the shirt, I have my wig on, you know what, might as well just do a video. And I've told you guys multiple times that I have different opportunities that I have lined up to tell you guys about. And today I'm deciding to share on Cayman Islands, the Cayman Islands. So if you don't know, the Cayman Islands is in the Caribbean. I know that we always think about going to the US or to the UK or to what we consider as first world countries or whatever. But the Cayman Islands, it's a country that's actually very good. It's they have good opportunities for teachers, and as you would have seen on my thumbnail, the salary is tax-free and they do pay teachers pretty well. I actually know people who are now teaching in the US who are originally from Jamaica, went to the Cayman Islands, and they had a good experience there. Some of them even said that they were able to save more there when compared to teaching in the US. And it's good for us to just expand our horizons, expand the different, just think outside of the box and not just stick to it's USA or nothing else. Like sometimes you could really be missing out on something that is really great. So what I did, and many of you have been asking me, because I did a poll the other day asking you where you prefer to teach. Some of you put in the comment section that you want to go to the Cayman Islands. So I reached out to a former co-worker of mine who is now in the Cayman Islands. She went there from Jamaica, and I asked her some questions. I'm just gonna go ahead and read the questions that I had asked her and give you her response verbatim. So bear with me, bear with my voice, just bear with the malfunction, all right, or the dysfunction. All right, so I asked her, what are the main requirements needed to apply for a teaching position in the Cayman Islands? Her response was at least a bachelor's degree or teaching diploma in the field of specialization, master's, etc. would be a great addition, as it gives you a greater advantage in the pool of other applicants. So there you have it. You need a master's degree or a teaching diploma. And of course, not a master's degree, you need a bachelor's degree or a teaching diploma. The next question was, can individuals with non-teaching related degrees apply for a teaching post? So maybe you have a degree and it did not say Bachelor of Education, maybe it's a Bachelor of Science, whatever it is. She said, to the best of her knowledge, no. The schools here will apply for a teaching license, a Cayman teaching license, and a teaching degree is required to get that teaching license. All right, now this is something that you could always do more research on. Maybe you could think about private schools. Maybe, I don't know if the requirements are different, but do your own additional research where that is concerned. I asked, how did you navigate the application process, and were there any specific documents or certifications required? She said, to be fair, each school has their own application process. The process can be time consuming, just like any other application process, but it is always helpful to speak to someone that is already on the island or has been through the process. The specific documents are the ones related to your qualifications. So I guess you'll need to have copies of your teaching degree and whatnot. These are usually mentioned on the application form. So whatever school that you're applying to, it would be mentioned on the application form anyway. Or the HR would reach out for these documents. So there you go. Whatever documents are needed when you have filled out your application form, HR will respond to you, or sometimes these documents are embedded within the application itself. And I didn't ask these questions in any particular order, so if it's not flowing as nicely as you would want it, I apologize. The next set of questions were related to culture, so I asked, can you share some experiences or challenges that you faced while adapting to the local culture? The response was, the transition can be difficult, the island is small, and everyone is busy. So one may have to rent a vehicle or read up or ask around about the public transportation, which, depending on where you live, may be few and far between. So commuting can be a little bit difficult. She also said, in terms of food, if you are from the West Indies, you won't really miss home. However, there are different shops that sell food from different cultures. And she also added that personally, adapting was not an issue because I can get the same yard food. If you're Jamaican, we know yardy food. Not necessarily the same quality, as well as imported food from the States. I go to church here and I knew people from before because of church. So having someone in the country before I came made things a lot easier for me, as they were able to check out an apartment, etc. Right. I know many of you wishing to migrate. Maybe you know no one. When I was coming to the US, I did not have family members in Georgia. So I had no one to lean on in terms of that. But the situation is perhaps the same for you, thinking about Cayman. So maybe you don't have a reference point, but hang in there. I asked about the teaching environment, and I asked, what is the education system like in the Cayman Islands, and how does it differ from your previous teaching experiences? The response was, the education system differs in the Cayman Islands. The government or public schools use CXC as their exam board, while most of the private schools use American education system and UK education system, such as the Cambridge exam, the JEC. The education is quite similar. However, some methodologies might have to be shelved somewhat depending on the school. I do not think the system differs greatly from my previous teaching experiences, and that would be in Jamaica. The quality of teaching has to be teach to the top and differentiate for those who are not the most ahead. How do you find the interaction with students and parents in the Cayman Islands compared to your previous teaching experience? The response was similar. If I were to compare schools, that is, Cayman between the Jamaican education system, it would seem as if I was still teaching at my previous school with loads of resources, international teachers, and continuing professional development opportunities for staff. The drive for excellence is key, both at my previous school and also now. The students are actively involved in sports and extremely brilliant. So it sounds like the students in the Cayman Island, they have a drive for success, and that is what every teacher wants for their students. And so even though as teachers we will have a lot of paperwork and so many things to do, just knowing that our students are truly interested in what is happening, it makes it worth the while. So you can expect students who are driven based on this individual's account. I asked, how does the curriculum in the Cayman Islands differ from what you were familiar with? The response is different exam boards, hence different cultural contexts. Right? I asked, have you adapted your teaching methods to align with the local education standards? And the person responded, I have had to shelve some of my methodologies. And she said it earlier on with a previous question, because of the different expectations. In terms of support and resources, I asked the question, I'm dragging because I actually accidentally clicked off of the document. I asked the question, what kind of support or resources were provided to you upon arriving in the Cayman Islands? And this is a very important question. She responded with, this may vary in different schools. However, My school provided accommodation for 2 weeks until I found a place to stay. That's great. A relocation fee to help offset rental, apartment, or car, or to help get me situated. They picked me up at the airport, got me situated with a SIM card and contacts e-links for rentals and realtors. They gave me a goodie bag with snacks and fruits and provided transport from the hotel to the school for meeting. They even helped me set up a bank account. So that's sounding good. I asked about the support in terms of professional development. And of course, she said that she cannot speak for all schools, but at her school, they pay teachers to complete professional development courses or even a postgrad degree, be it overseas or online. Once they see where it's beneficial to the school, many schools also provide the resources for the classrooms. That's awesome, because I know many teachers have a bachelor's and maybe they want to further their education and get a master's degree. So she's saying that not to speak for all schools, but at her school, they do provide that level of support where they assist financially with getting, additional qualifications. So in terms of expenses, I asked, do you think that moving to the Cayman Islands is lucrative for teachers? The response was, I believe it is lucrative. I do think that it can be difficult to secure a teaching job whilst outside of the Cayman Islands. There are no programs for teaching jobs, so it's not like the UK or USA where we know of some agencies that we can apply through directly. But for the Cayman Islands, you apply directly to schools. So she said, one must basically research schools in Cayman and check their website for vacancies. For government schools, the positions are posted in January, thereabout, and teachers can apply on their website. They will then place you in a school depending on your address and your availability. This could be on either of the 3 islands. And I'm going to post the government website that you guys can go to. And of course, you can always do a Google search for private schools if you're interested in that. Remember, you can apply to schools directly. Even for the government schools, you can look for those schools directly and try to apply to them directly. Send them your resume and your cover letter and hope that they reach out to you. I asked, what is the approximate cost or accommodation for a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom? And she did say that the prices are very dependent on the location, whether you're willing to share facilities or not, how new the apartment is, etc. However, you could expect to pay as little as $1,200 USD for a 1-bedroom shared facilities, and the prices can go very, very high. I do think that this is a very high price, because $1,200 for a 1-bedroom, and that's with shared facilities. I'm thinking about where I'm living now. $1,200 could definitely get you your own space. In some areas, you could get a 2-bedroom for that price, no sharing. So that is wild. But the salary is tax free, so I guess it goes back into other things. We have to think about that. I asked about the cost for groceries on a monthly basis, and just the cost to eat and all that. So she said minimum of $600 US, but it depends on your eating habits. And this is like the bare minimum is what she said. I'm laughing because she said crackers and water. But she said food can be expensive. There are lots of restaurants, bars, and cook shops, and so it's easy to end up spending a lot, eating out and all that. I asked about the culture in terms of what are the people of Cayman like. She mentioned that there aren't really a lot of Caymanians in Cayman as they may have migrated to the States. However, she said that they're basically no different from other Caribbean people. The older generation in Cayman can be very traditional. The young Caymanians are adventurous, some are lazy. The government takes care of them. And I believe that my final question, once again, I went out of the thing, was advice for aspiring teachers. So that's you guys listening in. I asked, what advice would you give to teachers considering the Cayman Islands as a destination for international teaching? And she said, if you are accustomed to a particular lifestyle, always going out to lots of different places, then this might only suit you for a year or less. And she's being very honest, because there is only so much you can do, and that's it. It's a small island. However, I think financially you are able to, or might be able to, achieve more financially, depending on your lifestyle and family situation. Consider the cost of living in Cayman Islands. While the salary for international teachers may be competitive, the cost of living, including housing, groceries, and transportation, can be relatively high in the Cayman Islands. And I asked, are there any tips for a smooth transition and successful experience? She said, build connections with other educators, administrators, and expatriates in the Cayman Islands. Networking can provide valuable insights, support, and resources as you navigate your teaching experience abroad. Well, I hope this video shed even a little bit of light on teaching in Cayman. The main takeaway from the questions that I asked was, like, if you want to teach in Cayman, you can, go to the government website to apply, or you can apply directly to schools. Guys, when you ask, how do I apply? All it takes really is a Google search. But like I said, I'm going to leave the government website link in the comment section down below, or in my description box down below. Sorry, I'm kind of I feel sort of disoriented just because, like I said, I have the flu right now. But yeah, doing this video nonetheless. I don't know when you guys will see another video from me, to be honest. I'm taking it one day at a time. You guys just caught me today. Decided to do a video. Hope you guys are doing well with your job search. I wish you guys all the best. Keep shining. If you got to this part of the video, as I always ask, please hashtag in the comment section, teach in the Cayman Islands. Once again, if you got to this part of the video, please go ahead and hashtag in the comment section, hashtag teach in the Cayman Islands. It's your girl Malika, aka Mali, aka Malibu, whatever you want to call me. You don't know that it's me saying I'm